Well, what the heck does that mean? Your eyes are more important than your words. While I've got my blue lens glasses on at the moment, it's not actually about what you think. Let's get stuck in right now, because really your eyes are always going to be a lot more beneficial to yourself in building relationships and moving forward than what your words ever will. So I'm standing here at the moment cutting a podcast. I've got my blue lens blocking glasses from America on at the moment. And funnily enough, it's not actually got to do with the tangible side of blue lens blocking or any of that type of rubbish with this podcast. It's actually the fundamental challenge, I guess, that most people have when starting new relationships. And when we try and start new relationships in the health and medical industry, we try and always talk about what we're doing or what our niche is. And we always hear self-proclaimed gurus like to try and tell us all about, what makes you different from someone else? What makes you stand out? Why would a doctor refer to you and not the other person down the road? You've got to be able to tell them in a short period of time all about how, you're going to be better for their clients and blah, 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 right? Well, that's all about words. And for most part, it's all a load of crap. I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm not being rude. I'm not being arrogant about this. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about the words. And it's not about the blue lens blocking glasses I've got on today either. There's two things here. One is, over a decade ago now, I developed the GP signature system, a trademarked model that's in place, 3 steps. It's really powerful. It works every single time. Every time someone tries to challenge it, which hasn't happened in the last couple of years, but for many years people did, they realized that it actually is perfect, it's bulletproof, and it works on so many different levels. So that's the first thing. We're not going to talk about that today. Let's get on to the fact that your eyes are more important in all of those relationship starters. Let's take a couple of examples, and I'll dive straight into it now so that you can get the benefit of it moving forward. The fact is this: if you were to go and see, let's take the doctor example that I mentioned a minute ago. If you're going to do a doctor's visit, meet someone for the first time at the doctor's practice, your eyes are always going to be more important than your words, because the first inference is always going to be for them to think that you're selling. You're going in as a health or medical professional. It's going to feel a bit dirty. It's going to feel like, as I have an itchy nose and scratch my nose during a podcast. It's going to feel a bit sales and marketing. They're going to have that idea that if you've got anything in your hand, it's going to be some type of marketing collateral. It's some type of, I'm here to wow them and make them send me more clients so I can make money and build my business. And so all of these avenues self-perpetuate the moment you walk in to talk to that doctor or practice nurse, etc. And so as a net result, you've got to break that down. Now, those self-proclaimed gurus that we talked about before will like to make you think that all of a sudden you've got to start talking quickly because you only have, 2 minutes, and you've got to be able to try and tell them about how you're ultimately better and you can help them out better, or you can be the solution to their problem and you can do this and you can, what's your niche, make sure what's different or what's your guarantee and blah, blah, blah. Guys, seriously, if you lead with any of that, people will feel like you're there for sales and marketing. Because that's what you are. You're talking that bullshit language that no one wants to talk about. They know you're there for sales and marketing. They know that you're there to try and make them feel better, and you're trying to angle in on your niche and make you sound better than everyone else. So as a net result, no matter what you try and say and do, your words are going to fail you. They're not going to give you the desired outcome. So if you want to listen to the self-proclaimed gurus that have no understanding of this bullshit, then go right ahead. But the fact of the matter is this: people's number one topic that they like to talk about is themselves. Secondly, it's their family. And third, their pets. Fourth is their interests, things like coffee and sport, right? So we know that for a fact. that is just accepted across in every industry. Everyone knows it. And if you didn't, then great. You do know it now. So let's just accept it and leverage from there. So if you go in there with a preconceived idea about what you're going to say and do, tell them about how great you are, your guarantees, how you can do this, you can do that, how you can blah, 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 talk about your niche, talk about how you're different and better, it's going to fall on deaf ears. No one's going to care, and it's a total waste. But if you actually use your eyes, not your words and mouth, you'll actually cut through that. And what I mean by that, using that same example, if you're going to meet a doctor and go into their room for the first time, use your eyes. Simply put, don't use your words, use your eyes. You should scan that room the moment you walk in. You should scan that room and look for keys to not physical keys, but look for the keys and the tips and the tricks and the leverage points around those top topics about themselves, their family, their pets, their interests. So, I mean, I did this 15 years ago, and it's literally an avenue that will have made me more than $100,000 just from this one practice alone. Like, I kid you not. I haven't looked at it for, 4 or 5 years now, but I know that with clients, we actually did a breakdown of all the clients that we've been referred from that doctor and all the doctors at that clinic as a net result. And this one strategy at the time had made us more than $80,000. Now, that was 4 or 5 years ago. It'd be well over $100,000 from utilizing my eyes, not my words. Because what I did was I walked in and I used my eyes. I scanned and I looked around the room, and I looked for the telltale signs of me being able to then engage in conversation about them, their family, pets, interests, etc. And so this one case, he was from a South Pacific island. It was actually Niue, tiny little island. There's only like 4,000 people or something like that, tiny little thing, Niue. And then he'd gone to the North Island of New Zealand to study. Then he'd done some work down in the South Island of New Zealand and then come across to Australia. And I didn't know any of that at the time, had no idea. Met him for the first time, walked into his room, but I used my eyes, not my words. So rather than trying to tell them how good I was or what we could do and how we could do this and that, etc., what I actually turned it into was I used my eyes and saw that he had a calendar on the wall. Now, if you have a calendar, I can look and use my eyes and work out what's going to be more beneficial. What's going to be on that calendar. Like for me here in my office, I have a calendar. My wife does it for me every year. It's just one of those Christmas presents that you get. She goes online and she gets a calendar and she puts a new picture on for myself and the girls or the family, or we're on holidays or whatever, from the last year. And it goes on to January for a picture, one on February, etc. And it's, costs $10 or whatever, sent from one of those online things that turns up, and I know I'm going to get it every year, and I love it. I put it up in the office, and every month, my assistant flips over the calendar, and I've got a new picture of something to do with the last 12 months with my family or my girls. It might be something to do with my eldest daughter being school captain and pinning her badge on or something. It might be a picture of us on swimming with manta rays in Hawaii. The next one might be us last year in Fiji. And then the next one is, in Vanuatu. And so a lot of it's like holiday pics and family and all this type of stuff. And it's great. And it's just this beautiful little thing that happens. So in this situation, I saw that his calendar was of the All Blacks. Interesting, right? You don't have a calendar up for the All Blacks if you don't like the All Blacks, you're not New Zealander, or you don't like the rugby or something like that. And so as a net result, I used my eyes to understand that. And while I also looked across the other side of the room to where the bookshelf was, I saw that there was a little scarf, and it was looking like a black scarf. It had a little white bit on the end of the frills. And I sort of naturally went, well, my eyes are telling me that's an All Black scarf, probably, more than likely. Certainly wouldn't be a Collingwood one, because if it was Collingwood, I wouldn't be able to talk to him any further. But that's a different story. And so as a net result, you use your eyes, not your words, to start the relationship. And you start talking to him straight away because, they are going to lead out with a question, how have you been? And straight away, I want to talk about, myself, my family, etc., because that's what we always do. You don't lead in with words about, oh, well, I'm a this and I do this and I can help. No. And so as a natural result, I knew that I'd be leading out with something about who I am. And by using my eyes, I was able to lead out with that discussion around, oh, been really great. I went to the rugby actually last weekend, which is great. And ding, straight away, that engaged him. He turned around and went, you went to the rugby. And I started talking about the Waratahs. Let's not judge me for being a New South Wales Waratahs fan. Thank you. And as a net result, he turned around and started talking, funnily enough, guess what, about rugby. Oh, do you like rugby, Jace? I was like, yeah, I do. Do you like rugby? He goes, yeah, absolutely. I was brought up with it over in New Zealand, right? Now I'm getting information about him. He's talking about himself. He goes, yeah, love it. Love the All Blacks. And he loved the Crusaders at Canterbury over in Christchurch. Love the Crusaders. I love it. And we started chatting. My whole conversation was just about the rugby for 3 or 4 minutes. And then literally he was like, hey, I've got to go. I've got to keep on track and that. Lovely to meet you. There was nothing about my words and what we could do or how we could help him out or our niche or anything like that. And I learned very, very quickly how powerful that was. Because within a very short period of time, by using my eyes, I could now get to know him. It was about a friendship and a relationship. It was not just about, hey, send me clients so I could make money. It was a lot deeper than that. And so there was a loyalty there, there was trust there. And within weeks, I would ring him up on a Monday morning. I'd get through to the receptionist. I'd say, I just need to talk to Fui. And he would put me through. And he'd be like, Jace, what's up? I'm with a client, with a patient. Because doctors always say patients, not clients. And I'd turn around and go, hey, just a quick one. Did you see the rugby on the weekend? And he'd be like, yes, I did. Shut up. And then he'd laugh and I'd say, no worries, have a good day. And I'd hang up. And literally that was because the Waratahs had beat the Crusaders. And so as a net result, people always buy from friends. They always refer to friends, etc. And so as a net result, we started a relationship, all because I used my eyes and not my words. Now, I could give you thousands of stories about that. We train our clients. We show our clients and colleagues how to do this, what to look for. But the takeaway from this is the fact of you need to use your eyes, not your words, if you want to build relationships and get these avenues open and create more opportunities for yourself. Think about it right now. What else, when you walked in to say, just take a doctor's surgery, what else can you be looking for in that situation? You might see certain apparatus. You might see stuff around acupuncture with things on the wall and needles, and you can actually start to talk to them about the fact that they're probably a doctor that does their own sort of dry needle acupuncture work, right? We're not talking work. We're talking about them and their interests and what, them. Maybe they've got pictures up in a little frame about their kids or their dog. Great, let's get talking about that. There's so many examples of this. There's so many simple and easy ways that you need to use your eyes and not your words to start that in place. And that works for everyone. They might be an NDIS support coordinator. It might be a corporate gig where you go into a workplace and go into their office. Use your eyes and not your words, first and foremost, because it's always going to set you up on a better path of trust, loyalty, respect, relationship building. And as a net result, that's going to enable you to get and move forward a lot quicker in that avenue. It's not about how good you are. It's not about trying to show your expertise or your niches or your guarantees or how much better you are and all that rubbish. It's always about using your eyes and not your words and starting that relationship, regardless of what it is. It always is eyes before mouth, eyes before words, and that will always leave you in better stead to have more time, money, freedom, and impact for yourself, your team, your business, and your clients. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.